This is code.org. Getting started. Import painter plus.java. Yep, standard stuff here. Backpack, painter plus, click and hit import. If you don't have that, make sure to hit new file. You can copy the missing information from there. Write a parameterized constructor for the painter plus class. That sounds complicated right away. So let's do some basic stuff first. What's a constructor? Well, the constructor, we have Painter Plus now. I'm going to instantiate an object. It doesn't ask me to do this over here yet. I don't care. It's going to make this easier to understand. Painter Plus, right? And then my Painter Plus, and then equals new Painter Plus, blah, blah, blah. All right, so now I've instantiated an object. My object's named my Painter Plus, and then I ask the constructor, I call the constructor to run with this, new Painter Plus. This tells the computer, hey, I have a new object I am creating. The data type is going to be a Painter Plus, which is this class. And then my name of my object is my Painter Plus. Equals new is calling the constructor. So the computer runs the code and says Painter Plus. Okay, so this class, that's the name, new, my Painter Plus. Oh, I have to run this Painter Plus from where? Painter Plus check, bloop, bloop, op, and it executes this. What it returns then, what ends up, is a object that has super. And let's remember, super just means everything that comes from the class above this. In this circumstance, painter, right? Painter plus is extending painter. So super means, hey, painter plus, grab everything that the painter can do. And now painter plus can do all of that. Pass it back, right? What they're asking us to do now, though, is have a parameterized constructor. And so how would that be used? I'm just going to honestly copy this. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to paste. How might this be used? This isn't what they're asking us to do right now at this moment, but it doesn't make sense without an example. So cool. Int x. Well, let's do something that doesn't exist just so there's a z location is equal to 0. All right. Say that in 99% of the time, I want to have a z location start out at 0. Moved it up there real quick. However, occasionally someone's going to want to create or instantiate a Painter Plus object that this is not the case, that z is not 0. Well, that means I'm going to leave this constructor here, right? Because that's going to be used a lot if most of the time they don't need to edit this when they create a new instance. However, sometimes, for some reason, they can't be at z location 0. And I guess, fine, I guess I can just say x location. X location 0. So now I'm going to have this other constructor, overloaded constructor, Painter Plus, and what I'll have here is I'm going to let them give me a new location. If they don't like my starting location for X, I'll have int, and I can call this anything, of course, it's a variable, new X location, we'll say. And what this will do then is I'm going to say, okay, if you really want to give me a new X location will now be equal to new X location, and then also super. So now, every time they want to declare a Painter Plus class object with a different X location, they don't have to have, I don't know, some second method here, right? Public Painter Plus, public set X location. They don't have to call something else. They can do it all directly from a constructor. From calling the constructor, this particular one is overloaded and has access or has a parameter for the X location. All right, that all being said, they're going to add another complicated layer to this, and that we're not even going to be directly setting it in the Painter Plus class. We're going to be setting it in the Painter class, which we can't entirely view. However, it is going to have a similar setup to what I'm showing you here. It has to. All right, all that being said, I'm getting rid of this. What do they want me to do? The parameterized constructor for the Painter class is, let's zoom out for a sec. Oh, that was not helpful. Perfect. Thanks, guys. I'm just going to copy that and see what I get. Boop. Oh, hey, that worked. All right, so here we go. Parameterized constructor for the Painter class is public painter, All right, so the Painter class has all of this in a constructor now. What are they asking us to do? In the body of the constructor, call super with parameters x, y, direction, and paint. Okay, so Boom. I, though, write a parameterized constructor. So it doesn't say rewrite the current constructor, right? It doesn't say delete anything. I'm going to zoom back in here because I think I get what they're saying. I'm going to get rid of this stuff. Just leave this here for my notes. All right. So they're saying write a new constructor, and it's going to be the overloaded one. So public painter plus, and then, and if I just follow this by the letter, lost it, there we are. I'm going to do, write a new, public, in the body of the constructor, call super with parameters. Okay, super, and then x, y, and actually passing it the parameter, it doesn't matter, direction and paint. All right, so great, I did it. This is going to work great. That's not true. This is going to break everything. Let me show you. Put up. All right, let's instantiate. Oh, I already have one here, right? And this will work, but now it wants us to go ahead and instantiate painter plus object. Yep. With a location of 0 and 9 and north. Cool. Let's hit run. And this isn't going to work. Bloop. Why not? Well, we have all this stuff in the super, right? Just like they ask. However, how are we getting this information? Where is it coming from? Well, to run this super, we have to be running Painter Plus, right? So what I'm calling right now is just Painter Plus, and I'm throwing information, I'm throwing arguments into something that they don't even exist. It says, okay, let me try to call this. Oh, nope, I have arguments, but there's no parameters. There's no parameters here. So we now have to have parameters to be able to pass this information. And then we use these parameters to further pass the information to the constructor for painter. Clear as mud? Most likely. All right. Now, Painter Plus, we now can pass it this information. We then use that information, and when we call the super, when we call the painter constructor, we can give it a starting X, Y, direction, and paint. Now let's see what we got. Ta-da! And now we started way down here at the bottom, facing north. This stuff is confusing. It gets slightly better. Let's keep going.